Hello, and welcome to Worthy Wednesday. I am your host, Karee, and I'm happy to see you. Y'all, I'm a little late tonight, but the reason I'm running late tonight is a very special reason. On this day, 23 years ago, my favorite young worthy woman was born. So I have spent this entire week celebrating that special gift. And today, actually on July 16th, is her birthday. So we celebrated tonight and it was really fun. We got to get all dressed up and go out, and it was really fun because Los Angeles has wonderful places for you to do that. So I want to say a very happy birthday to my sweet, wonderful, amazing, talented, beautiful, loving, kind, spectacular daughter, Gianna, who just earned her MBA. Damn. Anyway, welcome to Worthy Wednesday. California, the weather has been beautiful here, so I am thankful for that. Also, I just want to say I'm not as dry here as I am back in the great state of Arizona, so I'm thankful for that because I have used less lotion, praise be to God. But welcome to Worthy Wednesday. And y'all, I actually feel like this topic tonight about miracles is so appropriate because I am actually in the celebration mode, celebrating my baby in the month of July. I know some really amazing people who were born this month, including my baby, but I thought about how important it is to celebrate miracles, but I said it's more important for me to tell you how to do that, right? Because most of the time we learned earlier this year that saying thank you is a part of receiving and then executing and walking in a miracle. But tonight I want to talk to you specifically about how to celebrate a miracle. And there are 4 areas, but I want to cover 2 of them because I feel like I could talk forever, but I really don't want to talk forever. So I want to talk about how to celebrate miracles. And the first way to do that is to perform. Now, I want to tell you that to in the English language is a what is it called? Participle, right? So it connects you from one thing to the other. You have present, you have past, not participles, my bad, preposition. Anyway, so the preposition connects you to things, right? What you're going to do before an event, what you could do after an event, what leads you to a different event, what leads you away from an event. So to perform means I am in the process, I am going to go do something. But the definition states to perform publicly and with appropriate rites. So the first part of celebrate has to do with a traditional church service where you go and there are things that you actually do during that church service to celebrate the God that you serve at that particular service. So part of celebration is to perform. That means you actually have to get out and you actually have to act. You have to move your mouth, your mind, your body, your will, your emotions, and participate in celebrating, right? You have to participate. Performance requires participation, okay? So to celebrate a miracle, the first thing you have to do is to perform it. The second thing to celebrate a miracle is to honor it. So the definition says to honor by solemn ceremonies and refrain from normal business. So the example that the dictionary gave is what happens on a national holiday like Memorial Day, right? So on Memorial Day, we step away from our standard business practices, our standard routines, and we deviate. That means we change direction and we do something else, and we honor the sacrifices of those that have served our country in the manner of maintaining our freedom. So to honor is also a part of celebration because you take a moment and you reflect where that miracle comes from, right? You give honor. There's a scripture that tells us you give honor to whom honor is due. You give honor to your children's teachers, to their mentors, you give honors to your leaders. Honor means I am not going to do the same thing that I have done every single day. I'm going to take a step back and I am going to refrain from doing the things that I would normally do, like complain or gossip or be mean or be ugly. And I am going to honor. That means I am going to, in a sacred manner, take time to remember who you are and what you have done even if I have yet to acknowledge what you have done, part of the celebration that's required for miracles is to honor those people. How appropriate. The third thing about honor celebration, it says to mark by festivities, deviation from your routine. So the example given in the dictionary for this is like your anniversary. So when it's your anniversary, you have a celebration for that, right? You might have a party, you might go on a trip, right? But you deviate from your day-to-day activities. So when there is a celebration, in order to acknowledge that in a miracle, you have to mark it. That means you're going to put a pause there. You're going to create space so all that are there, all that are coming, all that are with you can say on this date, for example, today is my daughter's birthday, July 16th. On July 16th, my life changed dramatically. It was no longer just another day of the month for me. It became a sacred day because that was the day of my daughter's birth. So her birth marked the change of me doing things that I had been doing regularly all the times in my life, because now there is something more special and specific on that day. And finally, to help celebrate miracles, it says the final definition is to hold or play for public notice. So this means, for example, if someone were delivering spoken word or poetry, and let's say perhaps they were talking about the beauty of the land, the beauty of the country, and that means it's held in a position that people that are a part of that area, that community, can participate and listen and say, wow, we really should take into account all the great things that we've had. So in order to celebrate a miracle, the first thing you have to do is to perform, then to honor, to mark, and then to hold up publicly. So here's something I want us to talk about, worthy women, for just a few more minutes. When you are thinking about how do I celebrate miracles, this is a really good self-examination for everyone, right? Because we negate how miraculous, all puns intended, miracles really are. And then in our minds, we start trying to figure out, well, have I done everything I could have done? Is there something else? Am I really satisfied with what I've seen come out of this particular situation? And we don't ever, okay, maybe you do, but I know for me, sometimes I don't even take the time to recognize what has happened. So if I didn't understand what celebration or celebrate means, then I wouldn't have deviated from my regular routine. I wouldn't have left home and come to California to make sure that my daughter felt special for her birthday, because I would think, well, why do I need to do anything differently? I can celebrate her at home. But the celebration is the miracle of her being birthed on the earth, and I get to mark this day by festivities and take away what I would normally do in my routine. I also get to honor her by explaining to people, and when we go out places, to say, today I am not going to do the things that I would normally do on a regular day. Today is a special day where all of my regular business stops and I am only going to celebrate her. I also understand, to celebrate her, I have to perform, right? It takes all of me to get all the things together, to decorate, to celebrate, to buy a present, to wrap it up. These are all the things I have to do. And finally, I have to uphold her publicly. So I publicly tell people, today is my baby's birthday. I publicly post, today is my baby's birthday. I publicly share pictures of her from her entire life to celebrate, to hold her up for people to take notice that I am celebrating this miracle. Now, for those of us that have lived longer than a day and we are adults, I can tell you right now, it is so easy to dismiss the miracle of a lot of things. The miracle of life, the miracle of our children, the miracle of our finances, our relationships, our marriages, our relationships with our families. We dismiss all of those things because when things start getting on our nerves and when we get tired of certain things, you don't really celebrate them anymore. You don't celebrate that because you're like, y'all are on my nerves and I'm sick of you. I want to slap you up because I just want you to make better choices. But the important thing tonight, worthy women, is understanding how to do something, right? Am I always going to want to honor my mom or my dad or my relationships with my sibling or my relationship with my coworkers? Am I always going to remember to honor that relationship? Meaning that it is important for me to refrain from doing my normal business, which might be to tell that person off, which might be to roll my eyes, which might be to send an email that could possibly get you in trouble. I need to remember how important it is to honor someone so I can celebrate the miracle of being alive. First of all, like, how do I negate that I'm a miracle? You're a miracle because we're alive and we're able to do things. But I need us to remember, worthy women, that I have a choice in 4 areas when I want to celebrate a miracle to honor them. Do I honor it? First of all, do I even honor the Lord? Do I ever take a moment from my normal business to say, doggone it, Jesus, this was a miracle. Thanks. Thank you, Lord, for this. No, we don't. We thank the Lord in passing. You know what I'm saying? You made it safe to work. We thank him in passing. We get safely to our vacation. We thank him in passing. Right? And I'm talking about almost every person will acknowledge that there is a God and will acknowledge him and thank him for all of these things that we really have. But do we ever take a moment to celebrate him? That's a miracle to understand. To celebrate God means to honor him. I'm going to refrain from my normal business activity and really pause and give reflection for who he is. Have I decided to perform the things that I can control? Meaning that I am going to control my tongue. I'm going to control my attitude. I'm going to control my behavior. See, no one really wants to talk about this because we're thinking, oh, Karee, this doesn't have anything to do with miracles. But I'm telling you right now, your performance in front of other people, yourself, number one, because you're looking at the woman in the mirror, your children, your spouse, your family. These are the people that really know what kind of performer you really are. Other people might not ever see you. But in order to celebrate miracles in your life, how am I performing, really? Am I taking the rights and privileges that I have been given in my life and then celebrating those and doing those properly? I'm just going to say no. Okay, don't even answer that. Just say no. Now, also, have I learned to mark these miracles? Have I learned to mark them? Y'all, I need to know, like, it's so easy to mark special times in your life, birthdays, anniversaries, celebrations, healings, deliverances, whatever you want to call. And we will take time to celebrate those things. But have you marked and celebrated the miracles of your life? Have you done that? I think what happens is, for most people, we don't want to celebrate or mark a specific time in our life unless the miracle is something that we agreed with, or we liked it, or we participated in it. But see, the true celebration of miracles is that it does mark you. It marks you, how you saw that, how you saw when it worked out. What was your belief system? What was your thought process? Have I actually grown up? Because a miracle marks you. It tells you where you are mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It tells you if I am mature or if I lack maturity in certain areas. It marks me. And finally, I wonder if you have ever considered how to hold up publicly the celebration of miracles. See, we don't want people to think that we're over celebrating or we're being overzealous or we are constantly saying, look at me. But a miracle requires a public holding. It requires you to put a pause in your own life and say, I need people that are connected to me to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. This miracle occurred in my life and I am celebrating it. So I am standing here to publicly hold it up so you can see. I am standing here publicly to mark this time, this day, this moment in my life. I am standing here publicly to honor. Come on, you guys, to honor, meaning I am going to refrain from what I just did yesterday. I am not going to do the same thing I did yesterday. I am going to change my behavior. It's no longer business as usual. And I am standing here publicly to perform all of the rights that come along and associated with this miracle. I want everyone to to see how to celebrate. I think it's easy for us as people to celebrate the people that we love, right? Because if you love them, hello, it's easy as pie to celebrate my kid. I love her, right? It's easy as pie to do all the things that I want to do for her, make sure she has presents that she likes. But I'm going to tell you what's not so easy to celebrate when a miracle comes and it's not the miracle you thought it would be. And I don't mean it wasn't answered the way you want. I mean, you didn't anticipate for the miracle to mark you like that. You didn't anticipate for the miracle for you to have to publicly hold it up. You did not anticipate that you were going to publicly have to perform. You didn't. You were just like, holy crap, I thought that I would have zero responsibility when the miracle comes. But worthy women, I'm telling you tonight, in order to know the impact of a miracle, you have to know how to celebrate it. You have to know when it's time for you to not only be responsible, but to perform publicly, to honor, to mark, and to hold. To celebrate a miracle requires growth and maturity, and it requires a turning from where you were yesterday to the place that you need to be today. So I wonder in our lives, worthy women, as I have celebrated my baby this whole week, and I feel like it's not enough time. I mean, I want to celebrate her for a month in real life. And when my money is right, I will do that publicly. Because I want to always remember how to celebrate a miracle. I don't want to take for granted. There are children that have lost their lives at 4, at 5, at 1. Some did not make it out of the womb. And I have held this miracle for 23 years. How can I not know how to celebrate the miracle? So I wonder if we have taken just a bit of our life for granted. I'm raising my hand on that. And I wonder if we are constantly asking, why is it that we are walking through this particular time in our life instead of learning how to celebrate the miracles that we've never celebrated? It's almost like we're trying to get a fix and go from one miracle to the next. But there's really no growth in that, just so we're clear. The only growth comes when you can take a moment to recognize, I need to celebrate here. So I'm challenging you, worthy women, not just today, but every day and for the rest of your life, how to celebrate miracles, to perform, to honor, to mark, and to hold publicly. I love y'all, and I'll see you next week.